Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Tolu Talks. Thank you so much to the one person who watched my last YouTube video. If you haven't watched my last YouTube video, you can go check it out on my channel, Tolu Talks. Alright, let's get into the video for today. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. For those who don't have partners or someone to celebrate them, shout out to you. I'm celebrating you because you are special and you are wonderful, and this world is blessed to have you. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about how to be productive academically, and specifically I'm going to be talking about study tips that can help you study better. So currently now in my school we are writing a lot of tests. Well, done with lectures actually. I'm a university student, so we're done with lectures and we're currently writing some tests, and then exams are very clear. The exams are very close by. So I'm going to be sharing some tips that can help you study better. So for me personally, I like to study in chunks. I don't know how to read for a long period of time. There are some people that are actually gifted in reading for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. No, I'm doing TDB. No. I'm not that kind of person. But for me, I read in bits. I'm actually a very fast reader. So I read very, very fast, and I am quickly distracted and I lose interest easily. So I think that's one of the reasons why I read very, very fast. So most times I don't really even read with people because I read so fast, and most times they can't keep up with me. Maybe if there is a reading fast challenge and it's actually reading in my head, right? Maybe if there's a reading fast challenge, you guys can let me know. Let me compete. I could actually win because I read really, really fast. Anyway, so what I do, right, basically is I read. After reading, I set questions. As I'm reading, I create questions, right, from the parts that I've read. So I take a break. I look at these questions, right? Can I answer them? What is this concept talking about? Then I try to answer those questions, and if I can't answer them, I go back and I study again. If I study again and I notice that I still can't answer those questions, it means that one, I'm not in the mood for studying, because for me, I have to be in the mood to study before I study. I know it sounds weird, but yeah, that's just how I am. If I'm not in the mood for studying or something's on my mind, I won't be able to study at all. And I also study with music. Most people say they don't study, they can't study with music, but I actually do it. How I do it is that I tune out the music. It's like something playing in the background. I just close the door on it. I'm listening to the music, but I close the door on it and focus on what I'm reading. The purpose why I read with music is maybe if I can't focus or I find it hard to, like, my surroundings is noisy, I just put on music and it puts me in a zone. It encloses me in a zone that only me can access at that time, and I find it easy to study. So if I can't remember, I usually just take a break and come back later. I know that it may not work out, especially if you have a very short time to study, but at least it's still helpful. Then if I'm able to grasp that short concept, I'll go back, read the rest, and read the rest, and read the rest. Another thing I've also noticed is very helpful is spaced repetition, right? So after you finish reading it, when next you want to read that particular course or aspects that you've studied before, try to pick up those questions first before you actually start reading the slide again. If you can answer that question, good and fine. That means you have a good grasp on the subject. But if you can't answer those questions, then you know that you have to read some parts and you can't be 100% accurate. Yeah, so there are some times when you forget some things, you won't be able to remember some aspects, but it's okay, you go back and read it, and maybe when you're reading it again you have a better understanding at that point. So those are basically my study tips that help me study well, and it may not be what works for everyone. I remember when we went 200 level, our first semester exams, right? So me and my friend made plans that we are going to do TDB. I had actually never, in fact I've never done TDB in my life up to today, except one time when I was helping my dad do some work, right? So aside from that, we planned to do TDB, right? But unfortunately it didn't work. So our first course, I think, yeah, it was anatomy. And you know how anatomy is for medical students, they can relate. Anatomy is a lot, right? So we were planning to study, right? So most of my friends, most of my classmates, they did TDB, they read throughout the night, but me, I didn't. I went to sleep. I think highest 10 p.m. I was sleeping. And when I was sleeping, I was like, Omo, am I serious at all? Like, see, people are doing TDB. I was like, what are they still reading? Like, we've already covered this material. Like, for me personally, I've covered the material. So, what, what are they still reading? Anyway, I shall went to sleep, and thank God it all came out well at the end of the day. So one thing I would advise is discover yourself. What works better for you? There are some people that work in groups, they enjoy group discussions and explanations and tutorials. They can't read alone. If that's who you are, then you should be able to do that. But if you aren't that person, then you shouldn't. You must know yourself and be able to choose who you are and what you want, right? You must not allow somebody to make the decision of the study habit you want to build. Just choose what works for you, discover yourself, monitor yourself, and do it early, because trial by error method may not be the best at the end of the day, right? So just try your best to do what you can and leave the rest, okay? So guys, that's all for today's video. All right, stay blessed and happy Valentine's Day once again. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I You guys will not hear any cars in today's video because I'm actually in a different location, so it may not be much noise. All right guys, bye.